my name is Michael Kelly. I'm the Chief Executive of the Independent Broadcasters of Ireland. And the topic I'm going to introduce to you here, you've had some really important topics throughout the last day and a half, but this one is one which could either be an opportunity for us to preserve the services of radio for decades into the future, or it could literally be an extinction event for radio. That's how serious what we're talking about here. And this is the sort of point that we've been making, myself and John personally, in dealing with all of the stakeholders in the last year really. We're saying to people, if there's any issue that reduces our prominence in cars, in devices, in all of the new technology ways that we can engage with our listeners, that's going to have a huge effect. Now, the good news is there's a really effective way of addressing this. Some of our members have their apps, but in addition to that, we have a fantastic service that we own. We're partial owners with radio stations all over the world, which is Radio Player. Now, Radio Player is a not-for-profit, and what Radio Player does is it makes available, it's a link for us to provide our services in cars, on platforms, on TVs, on smart devices, and anything that's going to happen in the future. So it's a great honor for me to introduce Pedro Valente Essa. And Pedro is the head of partnerships with Radio Player. So he's our link for everybody who's here. He's our link with the vehicle manufacturers, with the Googles, the Amazons, all of these people that we're going to need in the future, in addition to our existing FM services. So I'm just going to ask Pedro to come to the stage, and Pedro's going to deliver you a short presentation. We will have some questions at the end, and I think it's going to be really interesting to you all.
Nowadays, people want to listen to their favorite radio content, not only on radio receivers, not only on cars, but really on any device. The mobile phones you are using now, but many others we will see. Okay, so first of all, I want to thank you because Ireland has been one of the first countries joining a Radio Player project in 2015. Yesterday, someone was showing me a picture taken in April 2015 and was the first event to present the first version of Radio Player app. Now, after 10 days, it's been a great journey. As you can see, we are delivering around 900,000 listening hours per month on multiple devices, especially on the mobile apps, on the connected TV apps and smart speakers, but we will get there. Radio Player, it's been already said, it's a unique company because it's a non-for-profit and it's fully owned and controlled by broadcasters. So our main goal is to keep radio strong and to make sure that radio service is at its best wherever it's available. We are backed by more than 800 broadcasters as of today, and we have 25 countries in the Radio Player project, and that number is growing every time. So we're about to launch Serbia. We can say it now. It's been signed. We're working with other countries as well. We are very strong in Europe, but we are working also in America and in Asia. Because, and it will come to car manufacturers. When we talk to car manufacturers, the first question is, how many countries could you cover? Because they don't want to have multiple agreements to get the metadata for the radio service. Our shareholders strongly believe on Radio Player, so it's been there for a while, but in the past 2 years, the shareholders have invested a lot of money to make it grow, to innovate. And we have a long-term plan of investment, especially on automotive, on products, and we will see all of them on the metadata and data as priorities. So this could be, let's say, the 4 pillars of Radio Player. The first one is hybrid radio in cars. Why cars? Because on a global scale, more than 74% of radio consumption happens in the car. And what's hybrid radio? So basically what we do is we leverage the connectivity in cars. So we add to traditional broadcast radio information that is delivered through the internet. So all the metadata, which is high quality station logos, station names, now playing information, schedule, podcast, catch-up content, whatever you can offer. It's your content, it's broadcaster content. We just make sure it's available easily and at its best on the cars. Then we have the app universe. You will see cars again. We will get back to that, but we make sure that wherever there is a device that supports applications, we have a radio player application that brings your content to the users. Integration with smart speakers and connected devices. Here is, as Michael was saying, Google, Amazon, Apple, Sonos, Bose, all the big players. We need to make sure that their radio services that they are already offering are the best ones with all the content in. Last but not least is the data platform. Radio Player has been investing a lot in terms of time and effort in the past years to launch the data platform. Has been launched last year, and we are collecting usage data from all the devices along the whole journey. And it helps, and we give back the insights to the broadcaster, so you can know where your stations are listened, how is the consumption, which are the programs. It's really useful. So why being in Radio Player? Which are the benefits? So first of all, as said before, we are backed by more than 800 broadcasters. So this gives us the power to go and speak to car manufacturers, and they listen to us. And not only the car manufacturers, also the big techs. And the other very important thing for us is the prominence, because when it comes especially to cars, we were used in the past to have our hardware radio in the middle of the cockpit, and it was easy to access. Now we're having bigger and bigger screens, many applications, many services, and it's very important, it's key to have the radio service always available, prominent, and we will see that later as well. And then again, now it's very important to know your listeners. So getting the data, getting insights, and again, create a great in-car radio experience. So let's deep dive into the car experience. Let me give you some facts. So the first hybrid radio service was launched together with Audi in 2017. We are currently powering more than 4 million cars in Europe, and this is a number that is growing quickly now, month over month. We have 15 car brands as partners, and we cannot disclose the names, but we are signing 2 more, and it's gonna grow. And again, we focus on prominence, and very important, the last point, we work only for radio industry. So yeah, don't forget that we are a non-for-profit. So whatever we do in terms also of creating new revenue streams is for the broadcasters. It's not for Radio Player.
We're in an amazing Audi Q5. Audi are one of Radio Player's partners for hybrid radio. And hybrid radio is where the best of broadcast, FM and DAB+, works together with the internet for a really rich radio experience. So the first thing you'll notice about the hybrid radio in this car is that there's a really prominent radio button. We think that's crucial for radio. It's got to be easy to access and really prominent. And we ask that of our OEM partners to make sure that radio is as prominent as possible. And Audi are big supporters, and they understand the importance of radio in the car, so that's what they've done. If you then go into the radio, you will see a nice A to Z station list of FM and DAB stations. And you can see here, there's nice high resolution station logos, station names all coming from Radio Player. That's the metadata that we provide to Audi to help power this system. Now they can develop an A to Z station list because they can mix the FM and DAB stations. It will default to DAB+ first, then it will show FM stations if it's not available on DAB+. And they can do that because of the bearer data, the identifiers about broadcast radio that we provide to them. And that's really important. When you go to the Now Playing screen, there's a nice high resolution station logo, which is really good for the branding as well. And you can very easily set a favourite, because we know that most people will get into the car, set 4 or 5 favourites, and then they'll listen to those stations, but they can also browse the list very easily if they want to. The other really clever thing about this hybrid radio is that if you move out of broadcast coverage, FM DAB coverage, it will seamlessly switch to an internet stream provided by Radio Player on behalf of our broadcasters. So the broadcaster never loses the listener. And if you then go back into broadcast coverage, it will then go back to broadcast, and the listener won't know that it's even happened. And that's the way it should be. You're not choosing a platform, it just works. And that's through the brilliant guys at Audi with our support.
All right, I hope it's more clear now. Going to prominence, there is a story we were talking about before with Michael. So basically, we are talking also to Chinese car manufacturers, because China last year became the first country worldwide in terms of number of cars exported, overtaking Japan and Germany. So we are going to have a lot of Chinese cars in our streets in the coming years. And one of them, we were talking to them, they show us where the radio service was basically they had a music note icon on the dashboard, but if you press that, they would show Spotify. And the radio service icon, which was the main radio in car, was just among the other applications. And if the owner downloads many apps, it would scale down. So we said, no way. What we want is to have it on the first screen, on the first dashboard. So when you get into your car, you turn on your car, you turn on your infotainment system, you need to have the radio service icon there, just one tap away. And these are some of the examples. And this one is where we saw the audio hybrid radio. This is how BMW, Neo, and Audi looks powered by Radio Player. So as you can see, you have all the stations, all the station logos. You have all the content information. You could have album covers, artist images, schedules. And of course, since we have bigger and bigger screens, it's very important for the user to have also a nice viewing experience on the dashboard. So just to recap, on the automotive, what we do is we try to grow your brand presence in the car with all the metadata that is directly provided by the broadcaster. So we are not using nothing that it's only radio players, but we ask the broadcasters to add their content to make sure that it's always up to date and it's always the best content. Extend listening with hybrid switching. You saw in the video. You can move quickly from DAB to FM to internet, all on-demand content, and linking to broadcaster apps. That's very important. I will move now to another video. We presented it at the Radio Days Europe in Athens. And basically talking to broadcasters, many of them said, yes, but we have our own app. We have our app in cars. We want to keep our listeners in our app. So what we deployed is a way to take the listener from the radio service in car directly to the broadcaster app, just with a tap. So let's go to it.
We're at Radio Days 2025. We're showing some fantastic innovations here on the stand to our broadcaster partners. Radio Player's main focus now is to keep radio listening strong in the car. And we've got a brand new prototype demonstration, and I'm going to show it to you. Let's have a look. What you see here is automotive grade hardware and software, and we've built this in Google's Android Automotive operating system. Now there's two things that are special about this operating system. Firstly, Google offer a standard broadcast radio experience in this, and unfortunately it's not a very good one. You can see here no station logos, searching by frequency, it's not that great. The second thing about this is that as well as having broadcast radio, you can also download radio apps direct to the dashboard. And you can see here, there's an application from a radio station in Greece, live radio, podcasts, and on demand. Now, if we go into the radio button that Radio Player has created, you'll see a very different experience. This is a working hybrid radio. That's where broadcast, FM and DAB, works alongside the internet. And if you select a station on FM, it will default and play on the broadcast radio. If you drive out of broadcast coverage, it will switch to streaming over the internet, so the broadcaster never loses their listener. This is a simple A to Z station list. All the station logos and station names are being provided by Radio Player. What's really cool about this is that we have implemented for the first time our device syncing feature. So you can now sync your mobile app, your smart TV app, with the broadcast hybrid radio in the car. And it's very easy to do, but when you do that, if you select a station here, you can see that station is now synced in the mobile app and also in the smart TV app here. That means if you select this station in the car, then get out of the car and turn on your mobile app, the same station will be playing there, or in your smart TV app, or it will be the same podcast that you were listening to. The second thing is this feature here, the More feature. So if you are listening to a radio station such as this one, and they have a broadcaster app downloaded in the system, and the listener wants to find out more, they want more content from this radio station, either podcasts or on demand or a catch-up show, you press the More button and it will seamlessly link to the broadcaster's app in the system, where they can then find the content they want. Of course, we also have the ability to set favourites, recent stations, and AI-based recommendations. So what we're showing here today is the first step on creating a vision for what radio will look like in connected cars in the next 3, 5, 7 years.
Can I ask you first, what do you think is the biggest threat that you've identified to our industry, and what's the opportunity? Are there opportunities in this as well as threats?
Yes, absolutely. Well, the threat, as said also before, is that radio is available in more and more devices. We are getting used to listen, especially new generations, to listen to entertainment content on different devices. Even on cars, we are getting videos that were not available. We're getting gaming. So the fact is that the risk is not to be the king in the castle.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, we can leverage all the opportunities that the new devices and the connectivity bring to provide a better service. So for instance, one of the examples, car manufacturers are looking to new features like lyrics. So while you are listening to the radio, you will have in real time the lyric of the song. Or you could do gaming, maybe guessing what's the song name and stuff like that. So there are many opportunities we can do. And especially with, being everywhere, that's really important. So we really cover the whole journey of the listener. So you can listen to your favorite radio at home, on your TV, on your car, on your mobile phone, on your smartwatch while running. And you can sync the devices. So if you started a podcast in the car, you can keep listening to it in your house, and so on and so forth, without signing in. So these kind of features are really important to the user. And, being all together in terms of broadcasters, we have the power to talk to the tech giants and make sure that the content is there and easy to reach.
Brilliant. That's very good. Listen, we have time for probably one or maybe two questions. And I just wondered, has anybody been prompted by the potential apocalypse that's facing us, or the huge opportunities?
Going from FM to an app, surely there'll be a delay?
Well, that's...
You said it was seamless.
There is because, of course, the streaming has a little delay compared to the broadcast. That's managed by the car system. So basically, what the radio does, it introduces a little delay on the broadcast, and then can manage the speed. That's the audio solution. So every car manufacturer has a different solution. So to close that gap, you can either speed up a little bit the stream. It's not recognizable, or you can just delay the slowest. So the broadcast. in order to have a seamless switch. Because of course, otherwise, when it switches, you would go back in time, which is not nice.
Can I just say that Pedro and his colleague Lawrence are here at the conference. They'll be here afterwards. If you've got any specific queries, please do approach them, because this is the way of the future. And this is a key. I suppose one of the things I would say is we were talking about content for the rest of the conference, but really distribution has a huge effect on our future. So the more attention we can pay to the work of Pedro and his colleagues, the better. And thank you, Pedro, for coming all the way over.
Thank you very much.